You believe anger proves strength. It does not. Anger proves ownership. Ownership by the person who provoked you. The moment your pulse jumps, the moment your voice tightens, the moment your face burns, someone else has taken command of your nervous system. You think you are defending your dignity. You are actually surrendering your sovereignty. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "He who causes another to become powerful ruins himself." Most people read this as political advice. It is biological advice. The man who provokes your anger becomes powerful over you. Before we dismantle that trap, a quiet invitation. If you intend to live as a sovereign rather than a puppet, subscribe, not for entertainment, for training. This channel is for people building psychological architecture most people will never understand. Now we begin. Phase 1. The virus transfer. You think insults are attacks. They are not. They are attempts at infection. When someone lashes out at you, what you are witnessing is not strength. It is psychological overflow, shame, envy, insecurity, frustration. Their internal pressure becomes unbearable, so they search for a host. They choose you. If you react, the transfer is successful. Their poison leaves them and enters you. Your anger becomes their relief. Your rage becomes their therapy. Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature. Men are so simple and so obedient to present necessities. In other words, emotional people are predictable people. The moment you react, you reveal your code. And manipulators love predictable code. Phase 2. The currency of provocation. Your attention is wealth. Your emotional stability is capital. Your calm mind is a fortress treasury. Every insult is an economic proposal. Someone is asking you to fund their chaos with your nervous system. Most people accept the deal immediately. They pay with adrenaline. They pay with cortisol. They pay with focus. And the beggar walks away richer. Julius Caesar understood the value of psychological currency long before he ruled Rome. When pirates captured him in the Aegean Sea, they demanded a ransom of 20 talents. Caesar laughed. He told them they had priced him far too low and ordered them to demand 50. For weeks he lived among them calmly, writing poetry and commanding them as if they were servants. He did not rage. He did not plead. When released, he returned with a fleet and crucified them exactly as promised. No anger, only execution. Machiavelli later wrote that men should either be treated with generosity or destroyed completely. Caesar understood this instinctively. Anger is theatrical, power is quiet. Phase 3. The predator nervous system. Anger is not just emotional, it is neurological surrender. When you are provoked, the amygdala seizes control of the brain. The ancient animal circuitry floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol. Your reasoning shuts down. Your strategic brain goes offline. You become reactive prey. Manipulators hunt for this state. They prod you because they want to watch you transform from strategist into animal. But there is a biological override. Stanford neurobiologist Andrew Huberman describes what is called the physiological sigh. 2 sharp inhales through the nose, 1 long controlled exhale. This pattern rapidly lowers heart rate and forces the nervous system back under your command. While they escalate, you slow down. While they shout, you breathe. In the animal kingdom, the prey panics. The predator walks. Become the predator. Halfway through this transformation, another invitation. If you intend to study power rather than perform weakness, subscribe now. Think of it as stepping into the strategist's circle. Most people consume noise. A few construct control. Phase 4. The insult is an invitation. You believe someone disrespected you. Incorrect. They invited you. An insult is a challenge designed to lure you off your throne and into the mud. Napoleon Bonaparte once erupted in fury at his foreign minister, Charles Maurice de Talleyrand. Napoleon shouted, insulted him, humiliated him publicly. Talleyrand stood perfectly still, no reaction, no defense. When Napoleon finished and stormed out, Talleyrand simply turned to the room and said quietly, "What a pity that such a great man should be so poorly raised. Who held the power in that moment? The emperor screaming like a child, or the man observing him like a scientist? Reaction elevates the aggressor. Indifference diminishes him." Phase 5. The strategic gap. Viktor Frankl discovered something in the darkest place imaginable. Between stimulus and response, there exists a gap. Inside that gap lives freedom. Most people collapse the gap instantly. Insult arrives. Anger explodes. Reaction follows. But the strategist stretches the gap. Inside that pause, you examine the situation like a surgeon. You do not participate, you observe. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire yet wrote constantly about this discipline. He reminded himself daily that people will be arrogant, selfish, and foolish. Expecting otherwise only creates suffering. When you expect chaos, chaos loses its power. Phase 6. Psychological judo. When confrontation becomes unavoidable, never defend yourself. Defense grants authority to the accuser. Instead, use asymmetrical agreement. If someone says, "You are arrogant," reply calmly, "Yes, I hold myself to a standard most people find uncomfortable." If someone says, "You only care about your own success," reply, "Correct, my trajectory requires that." Their attack collapses instantly. They prepared for resistance. They did not prepare for ownership. Machiavelli warned rulers never to appear weak. Owning the accusation removes the weapon. The insult dies in mid-air. Phase 7. The death of the ego. None of this works if your ego still demands approval. The ego is a target painted on your chest. The larger the ego, the easier the strike. Marcus Aurelius stripped illusions away from everything. Wine was simply fermented grapes. Royal robes were dyed wool. You must do the same with insults. What is an insult physically? A primate vibrating vocal cords, sound waves crossing a room, air moving across your eardrum. Why would vibrating air control your blood pressure? When you remove the illusion, the offense disappears, and you are left with a strange realization. You spent years reacting to people you do not even respect. Why crave validation from fools? Kill that craving and anger loses its oxygen. Phase 8. Sovereign detachment. When this discipline becomes permanent, something unsettling happens. Provocations stop working. People attempt to trigger you, and nothing happens. No spike in pulse. No tightening in the jaw, no emotional leakage. They brought a storm, they found a mountain. Machiavelli observed that a wise ruler must appear calm even when surrounded by chaos, because calm terrifies unstable people. They cannot control what they cannot provoke. You become strategically invisible to manipulation, a void of reaction, and in that void lives absolute control. One final invitation. Most people will hear this and return to emotional slavery tomorrow. A few will begin building an inner citadel. If you are among the few, subscribe and step into the architect level. That is where the deeper mechanics of power, manipulation, and psychological warfare are studied without restraint. Sovereigns are not born, they are engineered.